it's funny because the 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 challenges you're saying are exactly the kind of challenges that I've had to face. Which I don't know if that makes me a great person to help with them or a terrible person to help with them because it took me a long time to solve those problems. We were about to meet Ola. I currently have 4 coachees, and this was a second session out of me meeting the 4 new coachees. Out of all of those sessions, this was the one where I felt my inexperience as a life coach. It also didn't help that the internet connection wasn't great, which, by the way, shouldn't be a problem with our future chats with Ola. The net result was a lot of moments of me saying and and looking around gormlessly, which is my favourite way of thinking. I've edited some of the pauses out, not to try and make myself appear quicker than I am, but just in case me staring blankly at walls is not as entertaining in practice as it might sound on paper. Let's watch the session and we will chat afterwards, just you and me. Hello. Hi. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Yeah, you?
Yeah, good. Thank you very much. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Ah, awesome. Seems like we've got a good connection on the internet, so we don't need to use our phones or anything like that. We can just
Okay.
chat directly. I think it's when one of the computers is slow, then this software struggles to record and transmit the conversation at the same time. But yeah.
Okay. I downloaded the app, so maybe that helps because I'm on the iPad. So maybe that works better than via the browser. I don't
Ah, interesting. I didn't even know you could do that. Maybe
know.
maybe I should do the
Yeah.
same. Ah. Um. So did Mustard give you that sheet that gave you a rough idea of what we're looking at doing today?
Yeah, the PDF explaining the project. So
Yeah.
it's for YouTube channel, yeah?
Yeah, that's right. Um, and then anything we're chatting about, if there's anything that you don't want to be included, then just let me know, either as we're chatting or afterwards, and then we'll take that out. Because obviously we
Okay,
just want you to be comfortable to talk about whatever and not have to worry about
sure.
if you incriminate yourself or that kind of thing. Uh, yeah.
Okay.
Um, awesome. So do you have in your mind an idea of what your kind of life goals and what your plans are?
Roughly, yeah, not very specific, but there's few things that I'm hoping to kind of work towards.
Yeah.
Um, like, so I own a tattoo studio and I'm a tattoo artist in
Okay.
Bristol, but I wouldn't like to live in Bristol for much longer. I would really like to move somewhere warmer. And both me and my partner love Barcelona, and we lived there for the last winter. But that's what we are hoping to achieve. But it's kind of hard for me to leave Bristol because my client base is here, and I have quite a good income from that. So leaving it behind is quite hard. So yeah, so
What
I'm Mhm.
what is it your partner does? Does he work in Bristol as well?
Yes, but he has the option to work remotely
Oh,
in the
which you
future,
can't do
so
with
that's
tattoos.
easier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm thinking about like giving it a go, moving, and then maybe coming back to Bristol every month for a few days while like trying to build my client base in a new place. Yeah, so that's one of the goals to kind of move out, but also maybe find something that will allow me to work, from different places when I'm away from Bristol.
So are you thinking kind of more tattoo work, or are you thinking of something that's always flexible, like kind of online?
Both. So I started to learn trading a few weeks ago, but I'm not really good at balancing my time. So that's the other thing. But the other thing I find difficult is focusing on one thing for a long time. I mean, not focusing. it's like finding time for everything. So I understanding the trading techniques and wanted and like started the online course, and then I will do it for a few days in a row, and then I'll struggle to find even 20 minutes one day, and then it kind of goes downhill, if you know what I mean. So then I'll have like a week or 2 weeks break before I manage to get back into it. And it's the same with learning Spanish and things like that. Like, yeah, being self-employed and also having business, I'm struggling to find like the right structure.
Yeah, I know that feeling very well. Um, so is it? It's just so it's your tattoo business. Is it like one shop and just you, or are there other people who work there as well?
So it's just one shop where I'm tattooing, and at the moment there is one, two, three, four other artists. But I try to set it up in a way that I'm kind of like renting the chair, and they have their own clients, so I don't have to worry about booking clients for other people. The only thing I need to do is provide all the supplies and make sure the studio is clean. Um, but obviously there is always something that's kind of on the way that needs to be fixed, or something is missing from the supplies. Yeah.
So how much time do you spend actually doing the tattooing?
So it depends on the week. I try not to tattoo more than 4 days a week, and it's usually about 6 hours a day. Um, but I always arrive in the studio like an hour before the session to set everything up. So yeah, from 10 till 5, I'm usually in the studio. And then I try to have one day for admin to reply to emails, to do my designs. Um, but the problem is that sometimes I don't have many bookings, so I will tattoo like 3 days a week, or maybe not even 4 days. And then when I have those inquiries, I book myself up 6 days in a row, to catch up. And then like everything falls apart because I don't have time for anything else.
So how far is your studio away from where you live?
It's only just a few minutes walk. Yeah,
Okay.
short walk.
Um, okay, cool. Because where I was, obviously we're not at the stage to get into specifics yet, but I was wondering in terms of the learning Spanish if that could be done on your commute. And if you said, "Oh, it's an hour's drive away," I'd be thinking, well, that's time we could use wisely. But
Time.
obviously,
Yeah,
if you work and live in the same kind of area, then we can't play that game. Uh, it's funny because the challenges you're saying are exactly the kind of challenges that I've had to face, which I don't know if that makes me a great person to help with them or a terrible person to help with them because it took me a long time to solve those problems. But I think it's very common with business owners. You get absolutely swamped by the day to day, and something's always going wrong. There's always a problem. There's always a customer who has long questions or a staff member that needs time. It's whatever your week looks like, it's going to take twice as long to get through it because things will just crop up.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was reading this book recently called Essentialism,
Uh-huh.
and the author was saying that we always underestimate how much time we're gonna need for something. So if you say, "Oh, I can go food shopping and do it in half an hour," that means you probably need an hour to get to your car, to unpack everything. So
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely do that.
Yeah. Um, what do you do? What other stuff do you do outside of your work? Do you have any hobbies that you regularly do, or you regularly do exercise, or where are you at with all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff?
Yeah, I regularly exercise, I regularly run. I had a problem with my legs like a year and a half ago. I had a blood clot, and I always been active, but that kind of showed me that I need to be even more active to like help the blood flow. And I started tattooing when I was 19, and I was like working a lot. Sometimes I did 8 hour sessions, 5 days a week, and then like I didn't have time, or I couldn't be bothered to do anything else apart
Mm.
from that. So it's a lot of sitting in a really bad position and not much movement. So now I definitely work less than I used to, but I find time to exercise like at least 4 times a week, and try to walk a lot.
And do you pay attention to your diet, or are you not too fussed about that?
I do, yeah. I try to eat well, but I also eat a lot out, because sometimes, yeah, after like 7 hour session, I can't be bothered to cook. So, and living in the city center, it's quite easy to like, have a lot of choice.
Yeah. um, and what about sleep? How many hours of sleep do you do a day?
8. I sleep well. Yeah, I can't function if I don't sleep enough, and also like it's very easy for me to fall asleep, so I don't have an issue to, I know some people kind of struggle, so they like read a book before or something. And like I know that when I'm tired, I go to bed and I sleep. And yeah, well, recently, maybe 7.5, I tried to wake up early to do my exercise before work, because that's the only way I know that it's gonna get done. Um, yeah,
So
I don't. Mhm.
I'm guessing you don't really struggle with motivation. I'm guessing you're motivated and you're kind of giving it your all, but you just run out of time. Is that correct?
Mm, it depends what needs to be done. Sometimes I do procrastinate, and I choose like the easy option. So what I'm thinking about now is my tattooing. That's the other thing I struggle. So sometimes, like, rather than saying no to a client with like a design which I know it's not going to take me to the direction of the like style I want to work in, but it's like immediate money, so they can book in for next week and I can have it done. But this means I won't have time to prepare designs that I want to do and sell. So I'm kind of like pushing pushing away the things I could do now that could like be beneficial, for example, in a year. If I focused on it for a year and I choose something that can like, give me money now. I don't know if I'm explaining it well.
No, yeah, I totally understand that. When you say benefit you in a year, are you talking about, how do you, so, yeah, what specifically that could benefit you in a year?
So if I focused only on designs that I want to do in a specific style, then in a year I could charge more, because I would have clients who want tattoos specifically from me because they like my style. And then I wouldn't have to do those like smaller tattoos that anyone can do really. Um, with those tattoos, you have to charge less because they can just, this client can go to anyone. Um, but if it's more kind of artistic tattoo that only I can do, then you can charge more for them. Um, or it could bring me more like Instagram following, which means I would have like bigger audience and it's more likely that more people will book in.
Um, with the designs that you create, can you sell the designs and not do the tattooing, or do you have to do both?
I could, but I prefer to do both. Yeah, not many people tattoo other artists' designs unless you're like a really well-known painter, or then yeah, sometimes they do.
And have you got lots of Instagram followers at the moment?
we are waiting because like some days it's fine and sometimes it's like this. So some like I've been working all day today and it was fine. But I think this needs maybe better Wi-Fi. We are getting the Elon Musk Wi-Fi. It's the
Oh, really?
Starlink one.
Oh, wow.
Because my boyfriend is programming and he's doing two different jobs and he just needs the perfect connection. So and it's only £25 more than the EE one we've got now. And the signal apparently works everywhere. So
Yeah.
hopefully, if we're gonna carry on, it will be better.
Okay, amazing. Do you know when they're doing that?
No, I'm not sure. They've only he only applied for it, I think, last week, so should be soon, but I'm not sure.
Um, cool. Um, so you were saying 14K-ish followers on Instagram, and then you
Mhm.
started to say um, you started to say something else, but then we got cut out.
So I think I meant that it sounds a lot like a lot, but comparing to different tattoo artists who were working, like I've been tattooing for about 7 years now, um, I could have had more, I
Uh-huh.
think.
Okay. And so the designs you could be working on, the ones you like, the more artistic ones, could go on the Instagram and could have more, get more.
Yeah, so I could sell the designs as so they're called flash designs. So this is something I want to do. I post it. If someone likes the design, then they come and get tattooed by me.
Yeah,
Um,
does sound like
yeah.
a good business model. Um, so because we're talking about well, you said the word procrastinating, but then you said in this case you're doing things for money now, which might get in the way of your future projects.
Mhm.
But did you mean something else by procrastination? As in, do you ever waste time? Because that's you couldn't really say that was a waste of time because we have to earn money and
Yeah.
money helps future projects as well. So
Yeah, I do waste time on social media. Um, but I don't think it's that bad looking at other people and how much time people spend on social media nowadays. Like I'm not on TikTok at least, and I know that can be quite addictive, but I do spend quite a lot of time scrolling Instagram.
could you make any kind of guess at how much time?
Mm, probably about an hour a day altogether. It's scary, but I think like yeah, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and I do have a setup like a notification on Instagram that if I spend half an hour on it, it tells me to turn Instagram off, but I can just press ignore and then I keep on scrolling. So it's definitely more than half an hour because I get this notification every day.
And does a notification come up if it's half an hour continuous, or is that the total time? So
And
did you?
no, just half it in total. In total.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Um, hmm. I'm going to go silent for a minute and just do some processing unless you've got anything specific to add to all of that stuff so far.
Mm, no, I don't think so.
You say you lived in Barcelona or you just visited there for the winter?
Um, well, so it was like a long stay, but you can't really call it a holiday because my partner was working every day, and I tried to work. Well, I wanted to take a little break from tattooing, so I didn't want it to be as intense. But I booked some guest spots, which is what tattoo artists do when they want to work in different cities. Um, so I booked two guest spots in two different studios. Um, I didn't do much, maybe like one tattoo a week or maybe even less, maybe one tattoo in 10 days. So we went on Christmas Day, I think, and then in February, we came back for like 2.5 weeks when I did a lot of work. And then we went back for another until like almost end of April. So we were living in like a little flat Airbnb. There was something between holiday and living in Barcelona.
Mhm. I think I want to take the conversation to a few different places. So,
Mhm.
um, uh, yeah, there's about four different places I want to go at once. Oh, yeah.
Hello? Hi. Yeah, it stopped again. I think it's recording now, but I can't hear you. And yeah, you're not moving.
So on my screen, you've just flashed back up. I don't know if it's about to put you back on again.
Okay.
What I
Yeah,
think we'll do is when it cuts us off, just just give it a few minutes, and I'll just keep sitting here because I'm doing processing and thinking anyway. And
okay.
when we do the final cut, then I'll just all the blank spaces will just trim out, so it's not really a problem.
Okay. Yeah, it keeps on like starting to load from 0 to 55. And then yeah, I don't think it can go any further.
Oh,
Okay. Well, we'll see. I try to maybe reset the internet. So every time it cuts, you don't want me to call you. Just wait, try to reconnect, yeah?
yes, unless it takes
Okay.
ages and ages, or I'll try and
I
call
can
you.
see you
um,
Sorry about that. I don't know what's
yeah, I
causing
think
that.
this software just chews up so much because it's trying to do the conversation and record it all. It's just a lot.
Too
Um,
much, yeah.
so it's heavy on the computer and it's heavy on the internet. But
Okay.
I think your computer is okay because if your computer says 99% uploading and stuff, then that's
Yeah.
probably your computer's probably quite good. It's probably the internet that's the problem.
Okay.
Um, okay, I'm going to just ask if and ask one more question on this stuff. So what I'm doing in the background is I have a kind of a life matrix, and our conversation is naturally going through some of these areas. So we on the matrix we've got goals, we've got vision, we've got day to day. So I just want to check one thing. So presumably when you're doing the um, your artistic designs, is that kind of like your happy place in terms of that's your favorite thing to be doing is the creative designs?
Yes. Yeah. And it's much less stressful because I'll do the design. Someone can see it online and they like it so much that they want to have it on their body. Where if someone just sees my portfolio and they have an idea in their head, um, it's very likely that I'm not going to understand what they want exactly. Like they like my work, but they have something in their head, and me trying to, understand their idea and imagine what they have in their head can go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So every time, every day, pretty much, I'm thinking whether someone's going to like the design. And then they also like to go and show it to their family, and someone else may not like it. Like I prefer not to send the design before, but some people I just wouldn't book in if you don't send them the design in advance and they want to share it with everyone. And it's almost impossible to do a tattoo design that like 10 people like just so like some little bits that someone's gonna comment on, and it can put them off. So yeah, doing flash design is much more arty and easy and enjoyable.
Mhm. Um, okay, so totally different question. Uh,
Mhm.
how how would you kind of rate your happiness level?
Like 8.
Oh, what's the number?
Yeah, at the moment it's pretty good.
Oh, that's awesome. Um, so in the long term, are you thinking that, because I know you want the flexibility to be able to travel, move to Barcelona, do you think at any point have a family and settle down in one place, or is that not on your radar?
Yeah, I definitely have a family. Not sure about settling down in one place. I think maybe because I'm kind of an immigrant in the UK. Um, and like I lived in Poland when I was quite happy, and then I lived in Bristol when I was quite happy. And like I'm thinking about maybe one day moving back to Poland or maybe trying different places like Spain. And I feel like it's such a hard decision to just choose one place to settle in. Yeah, that kind of scares me a bit.
And then trading, that seems a million miles away from tattooing.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? What's the appeal for you for trading?
I think I just got interested in like investing first, and then seen some videos, and it's mainly the flexibility. So you can do it from anywhere you are. You can do it pretty much at any point during the day or night with some things, because there are different markets open at different times of the day. And yeah, I was even thinking like about if I had kids, I could do it for 2 or 3 hours a day, and then you're not depending on anyone. So yeah, I've been self-employed since I was 19, so I think I would. Can you hear me? Yes, I'm back. Um, I was saying that yeah, you can do 2, 3 hours a day. If you have more time, you can do more. Um, and yeah, I tried a little bit with like paper money, just to give it a go, and it's not something that's like I don't like completely and would do just for money. It was quite interesting to like learn different strategies and things like that. So oh yeah, and I don't know if I said I was thinking that I was self-employed since I was 19, and I think I would struggle to like have a boss or a manager or even be someone else's manager, just be in like I don't know, some kind of more structured place. Yeah, I just like that you don't have to depend on anyone else and no one else is depending on you with the trading stuff. Yeah.
You an introvert.
No, I really like spending time with people and being around people.
So that's quite interesting because you're saying that the appeal of the trading is about being independent, and with a tattooing, the you prefer doing the designs than maybe the actual tattooing. Uh, so yeah, I thought maybe you were not a fan of people, but
Oh
I
no, no.
assume you are.
Mm, no, I don't think I prefer doing the design than the tattoo. I I prefer tattooing designs that came like from me, that it was my idea, if you know
Yeah.
what I mean. Yeah. Um, and then obviously, like if you do a nice tattoo that you designed before and you post it on Instagram, like people are commenting, so it's like self, what's the word? Like you feel
Validated.
like appreciated, your work is appreciated. Where if you do like simple script tattoos or yeah, something not necessarily as artistic, you don't get that. You don't even put in your portfolio. It's more of like being a craftsman rather than an artist.
Yeah. How long do you reckon it would take to get to the stage with trading where it could support itself, could pay for you?
Um, well, it depends if I was good at it, because at this point it's hard to tell. And from the tutorials I was listening to, it's like the psychology of it is very important. And but I think like after in 6 months, I would probably be able to tell and like make some money, hopefully. Um, I haven't traded with real money yet, so I don't know. And it's hard to tell. Like I was thinking the other thing is that trading could be on, like I don't know, I could do it for 2 or 3 days if I moved to Barcelona and didn't have many clients, so I could still tattoo and make money from trading. Yeah, I don't know how long I would need to learn to be able to support myself.
How often do you take days off and just chill and do nothing?
Like twice a month. Uh,
And
no, but even if I take a day off, it's usually very active. Um,
and how do you feel when you take a day off?
mm, so when I am in Bristol, it's hard for me to like completely turn my head off from work and not think about it. That's why I think I go away quite often. Yeah, when I'm away from home, away from the studio, that's where I'm able to like completely switch off. And well, obviously you always think about it at the back of your head, but it's yeah, more relaxing.
When you go away, when you go out to Bristol, do you when you're relaxing, do you feel guilty for relaxing, or do you not have that feeling?
No, I don't. I don't like to go away for too long. Like usually after a week, feel like I want to go back to work. Uh, I feel maybe guilty is a bit too much. If I, for example, if I'm away and I promise myself like I won't be replying to any emails, and sometimes it means that I'm losing clients because some people want to get a response like now, or 2 days is the maximum they wait, and then if you don't get back to them, they either change their mind or they will message someone else. Um, so yeah, I get like annoyed at myself that I could have just like spent, even when I'm away, I could have spent 15 minutes to reply to a few emails, and that would mean I didn't lose a client.
Mm-hmm. So a couple of things. So one thing is, so before, if this goes out onto the YouTube channel, then before it goes out, you'll get to see it if you want and vet any things, because I'm going to ask a few financial questions in a minute, and it
Hmm.
might be that either now or later on you feel you're not comfortable with answering those. So that's fine. But yeah, my point is you'll see it before it goes out. So
Hmm.
um, uh, but so I guess here's what I'm thinking so far is so one of the reasons I've been asking some of these random questions is because I'm one of the things I have to do is work out if what people want to achieve, what their goals and ambitions are, if those really are their goals and ambitions. Um, and at the moment, it just feels like it is the case. You know what you want to do, and you have your reasons for doing it, and it's just a case of working through the plan and freeing up time to do it. Um, Having said that, there is some another place I want to go to double check all that, but I'm not
Hmm.
going to do it right now because for the moment I'm. It just feels like you have your clear plan, you have your reasons, and there's it all seems fine in that respect. Um, but yeah, the challenge is going to be coming down to pretty much what it is with all business owners, which is time and money, and probably even just almost everyone. It comes down to time and money. That's just the reality of it. Uh, so what I'm going to suggest we do is do because we're going to be going till for a bit longer with this conversation. I'm going to suggest we do
Hmm.
a 5 minute break now,
Okay.
and then come back. So we'll just leave the camera running and leave it uploading. Um, but yeah, then I'm going to ask you some questions with specific numbers and financial stuff, and your kind of weekly schedule and that kind of thing, and we'll start looking at numbers and specifics. So like I said in the intro, lots of ums and ers. You also saw the bit where I say that I think the plan is thought through, and clearly it is. But I think we're actually going to have to drill into the trading idea a bit more, because my feeling, having had more time to reflect on our chat, is that the trading could potentially be one of those things which sounds like a good idea, but perhaps would not be the best course of action for Ola. So we need to analyze the pros and cons and compare it with other ideas. Of course, that can't happen until session 3, because session 1 and session 2 were recorded at the same time, which means that session 2 is already recorded. Possibly, when I have more experience, I would have been more quick on my feet to spot the need to question the trading a bit more at the time.